Welcome back, everybody. Blake Cousins, broadcasting live. It's Monday night. It's Friday night. Yeah, we do this twice a week, taking your calls from around the world. And we've had an amazing week. Let me tell you, last Monday, it's been seen, the broadcast on our YouTube channel, almost over 100,000 times. So the word's getting out. Over 100,000 people listened to last Monday's radio show. So let's get this show heard by millions around the world. Let's get the word out that we're not alone. We want to hear good stories tonight. So if you've got an important one, just press number 1 on your device and we'll get straight to the top of the call list, and we'll just start opening up the lines right now. Let's bring them in. Area code 609. You're live, Third Phase of Moon. Welcome to the show. Where are you calling in from?
609, that's me.
Yeah, you're on live, man. How you doing? Where are you calling in from?
Wow, Browns Mills, New Jersey. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Wow, absolutely. Well, welcome to good morning to you, and thanks for calling in. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I've been trying to get a hold of you guys for a while now. I live in Browns Mills, like I said. I live right next to Joint Base. It used to be Fort Dix McGuire Air Force Base.
Okay.
And now it's called Joint Base. So it's Lakehurst, Fort Dix, and McGuire. And I'm calling in for, I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but on Fort Dix McGuire Air Force Base back in the day, they had, let's say, a meeting with an alien terrestrial being, and captain at the time shot the creature. I don't know if you've noticed or heard about this or not.
Wow. So tell me, what was this meeting all about? Who was in charge of it? When did it take place exactly, and where?
I believe he was a general at the time, and he got a call from his commanding officer to go check this out, and supposedly he came across her or whatever it was, and he reported about it and gave the whole scenario of what went down, and he actually shot the creature.
What did he do with the body? Did he kill it?
Well, he was told not to talk about it, of course, and later on in life, he decided to talk about it. He's pretty known, the guy. Like I said, he's retired now, but he let everybody know about it. And I forget his name. I'm running a blank right now because, like I said, this is the first time I got through to you guys. But I want to get this out there because it actually happened. Because I have friends and family that live right next to Fort Dix McGuire Air Force Base. I've lived here since I was 16. I'm 46 now. And I kept hearing all the stories. And I recently, say maybe 3 years ago, I came across the video of the guy telling everybody about it. And my friend's dad knew the guy at the time. And he would tell his son, and his son I was good friends with, and tell all of us about it. And like I said, I'm 46 now, and I just heard the guy actually say it maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It's on the YouTube channel. And he's very well known.
Let me ask you if he did he explain to the people around him that if this thing was engaged in an alien attack, or he just shot it out of fear? Does he think that it came from the base itself?
No, supposedly the alien creature was friends with the neighborhood, and he was welcomed on Fort Dix McGuire Air Force Base at the time. But the general or captain, I'm not sure what it was. I'm not in front of my computer now, but if you punch up Fort Dix McGuire Air Force Base alien shooting, there are videos out there of it. And it's the actual guy that was in the scenario. My friend's dad pointed to the TV and say, "That's the guy." And I've known the guy for a long time, and I believe his words, and I believe that he is associated with the guy. If you're in front of your computer now, you could punch it up. I'm not in front of one now, but Fort Dix McGuire Air Force Base, alien shooting. It's right there.
Okay, guys,
And
anybody on the flash chat, let's bring that link up so we could take a look at it. We got a lot of people that looked that up for us, and they just heard the location. Look up the location and the shooting reference and forward it to me right now in the flash chat. Appreciate it, guys. So it's my understanding that this alien was kind of welcome on the base, probably almost treated like a celebrity in his own sense, dealing with the soldiers. People knew of this alien. Yeah.
Right. He was going through the night, just strolling around, but activity on the base was where the landing strip was, and I guess the people that didn't know about the creature found out, and that's how everything went down in the wrong way.
Yeah, we found it. Basically, the U.S. Air Force shoot and killed an alien on the runway at Fort Dix.
Right.
George Filler. George Filler is the guy that's basically claiming he saw it. Is this the encounter that we're talking about?
Yes, it is. Now he's been he was in a documentary with it was just recently the guy from NASA. His dad was making ships to go into space, and now he has come out and has his own documentary on unacknowledgement. That's it.
Yeah, Dr. Greer's unacknowledged. But let me ask you this: so, are you concerned? Are you you're in close proximity to this shooting?
Right, I'm in South Mill.
This event. So,
I'm right
have
next door to
Have you seen anything strange in the area, in your opinion? Yeah, like what?
All the time. Me and my friends go out to this one spot. I don't like everybody to know about it because then, they'll shut down the property to where we can't see certain things. And yes, every once in a while, weekend warriors come out and do their demonstrations of, blowing up holes in a big sandhill. We hear it all weekend long with the weekend warriors. They start at 7 o'clock in the morning with a big boom, destroying a hill. But it's the shooting range out here. And sometimes they have scenarios of this spy ship, quote-unquote spy ship, that they let the public know about. It's a white blimp, but at the time, we were seeing all this stuff in the sky. A lot of people don't look up in the sky around here, unfortunately. But me and a small handful of people, we go out and, look into the sky and see amazing things. So it was kind of being leaked out that we were seeing things, and so now they made this blimp story up, and there's a white blimp. You can put all kinds of colors in it to make it glow. It's white, but at night they can put a different light in it to make it look real bright orange or real bright yellow. And yes, we sit there on the side of this road near the cranberry bogs and sit there and stare at, things coming in, going out, just lights appearing and then disappearing. And it's all done on, when the weekend warriors are around. So every other weekend.
Yeah, just you basically, it sounds like there's some action, and according to the testimony from that base, now that's getting pretty intense because it sounded like it was invited on the base, and then for some odd reason, the commander or the general over there decided, well, we're going to have to off this thing. That basically is pretty bad because this thing didn't even see it coming. It's like it's almost cold-blooded murder in its own sense. The thing was defenseless. It had no idea somebody was out to gun it for it. But wow, I appreciate the heads up on that. And yeah, be safe over there. If you see anything, you know what to do when you get it on video.
Oh, that's the thing. We try to bring our cameras out there, and we're not able to take any pictures, any video, anything. And I'm thinking if I have a longer lens or something, maybe. But we're trying out there with our cell phones and stuff like that. But we can't get any pictures that will show up.
Well, yeah, you got to get some telephoto lens equipment. The iPhones and these phones are pretty good, but when you start zooming up, you really lose all kinds of, just it starts to pixelate quickly when you start zooming with those lenses. So a good telephoto 300 millimeter works really good with these DSLRs. But yeah, just be safe, man. Be safe, and appreciate you calling in. We're going to look into that story in regards to basically this murder of an alien on a military base.
Yeah, I would love to hear what you guys have to think about, say about it, because I'm amazed. I've been amazed by it, since I was 16 years old, like I said, from hearing it from my friend's dad. And
yeah, and now it's basically confirmed.
For him to come out and say it, and him say, that's the guy.
It confirmed your story. It confirmed it.
Right.
You've been hearing it. That's pretty amazing. That really goes to show that, some of this stuff, people nonchalantly just pass it off as, this you guys are nuts. This story is crazy. But then, it comes up later as a true fact, and you have other eyewitness testimony corroborating the same thing you heard years later. And, well, this proves something is going on, people, and our military knows a lot about it. Stay tuned. We'll be back. More Third Phase Moon coming up next. Confirmation, an alien has been murdered on a military base. That was our last phone call, and we're going to investigate that further. So stay tuned for more updates with that information on our Third Phase Moon YouTube channel. Okay, now we've got a lot of callers, and we have some unlisted phone numbers as well. So we'll just open up the unlisted lines and see if they got something they want to share. Let's see. If you're there, go ahead and speak up. Unlisted number, are you there? Hello?
Nothing to say.
Somebody has nothing to say, and they press number 1 on the pad because they wanted to share something. Okay, just press number 1 on your keypad, and if you got something to share, that's what you need to do. All right, okay, let's bring in some more callers. Let's go to, let's see, area code 919. You got it. You're with us. You're on Third Phase Moon Live. How you doing?
Oh, man. How you doing? You hear me?
Oh, yeah. We got you loud and clear, sir. Yeah, where are you calling in from? What do you want to share with the world tonight?
Wow, this is awesome, man. I've been watching y'all for 3 years.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Have you seen something that you want to share to the world? Wow.
Actually, I don't know how much I want to share. I was in the military, and I just heard the last caller. and what happened is a real event.
All right.
I can't believe I was.
Sounds like, yeah, you made it, man. You're on, so we want to hear your story. So let's get.
This
let's
is
get
awesome,
this
man. I love you guys. I'm sorry, I'm a little struck right now. But
Sure.
anyway.
Yeah, I can understand. But yeah, what branch of military were you serving with?
I won't give you my branch. I was a sharpshooter. I had a team chief. If that makes any sense to you. I've been everywhere in the world.
All right. Okay.
So,
you're coming in a little soft. You're a little muffled. So we want to hear it.
Can you hear
nice
me?
And clear.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's so much better. Thank you so much. All right.
The individual that called in earlier, that did happen. Have you ever heard of the Set 9?
The Set 9.
Set
No,
9. They're
yeah. Go ahead.
supposedly they are individuals that, like the Earth is not ours. And they watch over it, but they're not allowed to intervene in our development. I worked with a CIA agent overseas. My clearance was a top secret level 3. Honestly, I just got home. I've been home for about a year, dealing with ISIS and that kind of stuff. But I will say, I've run into individuals who have had contact. I'm kind of nervous. Give me a break. Making this phone call. Are you there?
Yep, we're right here. We're listening. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Don't worry. We've had whistleblowers. We've had whistleblowers and government people that work.
I wouldn't consider. Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a whistleblower, but
well, it sounds.
I do my job.
Some of the information sounds. That's cool. Yeah. So. Yeah, like
the individual that was shot.
We just want to hear your story, sir.
The individual that was shot on there. It's kind of hard to explain. The Set 9 supposedly is it's kind of a galactic brotherhood, and we haven't made it to that point yet. We've gone into space, we've gone to the moon, gone to Mars, and all this stuff. And what they do is they monitor. So in essence, how it was explained to me was that we're pretty much an ant farm. And it kind of goes into a lot of things, like Bigfoot. I don't know if you're a Bigfoot fan. I know y'all cover certain things with that. It's a hominid. It does exist, and it's what we should have been. Our DNA was fucked with. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss. I don't know if I can get it on here. But
yeah. Watch the language. We're gonna have to.
I'm sorry. But anyway, it's a hominid, and the geno was messed with, and I know some guys. It's called a. You're probably familiar with it. No, the civilians call it Black Ops. It's actually called Section 8. Section 8, I knew a guy that was within our unit who is kind of a retirement fund, if that makes sense. He's getting older. His knees couldn't take the jump anymore because we would do jumps out of aircraft, whatever, helicopters. And this was kind of an easy gig, but it was a good gig because you make a lot of money doing it. And the government completely takes care of you, but there's guidelines. So my friend of mine that I serve with closely overseas for years came by one day, and he was living good. and he told us that kind of boils down to the cattle mutilations. The government has a part in that to a certain level. There are agreements with certain people, with certain entities, and the Set 9 is watching over us. You heard of the Black Knight? So the Black Knight satellite has been there forever. And it kind of breaks down to the moon and a lot of things. So anyway, we started breaking this down one night. We're hanging out.
Sure. So what do you got new to the story? Because, some of the stuff, we've heard about it. What do you have a personal experience with it besides,
personal
or
experience.
is this secondhand information?
Well, some of it is, some of it isn't. Personal experience is I was training at Fort Bragg, and there's an area of Fort Bragg called the Black Forest. Fort Bragg is actually the size of a city. I mean, it's huge. I don't know if you've ever been to the base. I know y'all are based out of Hawaii. But, so we're doing some training, and my spotter, my team chief, comes up to me, and he's rock solid, and he's panicked, sweating. And I've never seen him in this state. And he said, we got some individuals, 4, to this direction. So we go out there and investigate. At the time, our weapons, we had sim rounds in our M4s, but we were given our issued M9s that were live rounds, just in case. There's black bears, there's all kinds of stuff out there. So we go investigate, and I see 4 individuals that are ripped. I mean, like, ridiculously ripped. They had no shirts on. They had BDU bottoms and boots. So we're about 20 yards away, and they're all standing.
Were they like hybrids? Were they like hybrid soldiers or something?
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen a soldier that well developed. I mean, it was weird. And they all
like a super soldier of some sort.
It was crazy. So now, here's something, just a side note, believe it or not, if anybody's listening. If you go into Fort Bragg, there's a lot of hunters out here. And we would use y'all. There's all kinds of devices out there. Just like, I guess you could say Area 51, whatever. And we would use y'all as training tools. So if you step on the property, a lot of the property is not marked.
Well, let me ask you about these super soldiers. Were they intimidating to you? They
weren't. They just stood there. They would not react to commands. We walked up, and initially we thought, it's a bunch of...
Yeah, so then you're going there
to
investigate.
They're just standing there. What was weird is that they were in a complete line with each other, if that makes sense, like a formation. And we asked them, who are you with? Nothing. And what really got me was, it was almost like an ammo belt, but it wasn't. It was like a belt going over their chest with this device in the center. All I saw was yellow light coming out of the device as I got closer. And when I started speaking to them, have you ever spoken to a dog that doesn't understand the command? They kind of turn their head, like they're trying to listen and figure out what you're saying. Does that make sense? And that's what they were doing. They weren't armed. And when I started talking to them,
they're almost in kind of like a mind. No problem. They're in a mind-controlled state. They're totally calm, almost in a hypnotic sense, and they're unarmed, probably because
they were hairless.
They probably could snap anybody like
no
a
hair.
twig. Hairless.
Yeah, there was no hair. Hairless.
Like a super soldier program, if you ask me.
At least 6'3". They were big individuals. I mean, there was no passing. This is what
Yeah.
They crossed over a road. That was the thing. There was like a road coming in there, like a dirt path. And they're standing, I would say, 10 yards from the dirt path when I approached them. So at this point, we're thinking trespassers, whatever. But anyway, what I just said, it just didn't add up. And I'm like, they're wearing military issue clothing, but they have no tops. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But they had that cross chest, whatever it was, and in the middle of it was this light, and it started blinking yellow. And as I got closer to them, we started to feel nauseous. I wouldn't say like nauseous to the point of I'm going to throw up everywhere, but it was more or less like I didn't feel right. My gut was telling me to stop, so I stopped. They were in a perfect formation line, never once any negative aggression. There was nothing like that. It was like I was talking to an individual that didn't understand English, but they didn't look right. Like they were so ripped, like their body structure was like ridiculous, and their skin tone was weird. It was almost like skin camouflage. I know this sounds crazy. It was like it was crazy. And then all of a sudden, Humvees, and these weren't Humvees from our base. They were black Humvees come rolling up on this dirt road quickly in a white van. Now, with my clearance and what I do, I'm allowed to be where I'm at. They are not. So the Humvees roll up. No one gets out of the Humvees. Two guys get out of the white van. They have glasses on, in black, with cargo black pants, combat boots, whatever. And they ask us, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Sir, what are you doing here?" And this guy looked at me right in the face through his glasses and said, "You need to leave. I would suggest you leave now. And what this is nothing." And he looked at me and said, "Do you understand? Hua?" I looked at him, and something inside of me said, "Back off." And I said, "Hua." And I backed off. And they took these individuals and carted them into the back of this white van. And these rolled out, and they left. And that was it. And then I received a call from my HQ saying you need to fall back to training point, and we're done. And nothing was talked about it. And all of us were like, "What the fuck was that?" Or what was that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a normal military protocol, in your opinion?
No.
Who do you think's in charge of this? Black Ops operation? Is this above your top secret clearance or below? Do they have?
I think we might have wandered into something that we shouldn't have. The individual, I'm pretty sure what you do. I don't know, but I know I was at that point, my gut was telling me I was in an environment that wasn't healthy for my longevity, just by the way the presence this man had. And I just wanted to protect my team, and it was training. So,
do you think
what's that?
People are asking on the flash chat? They want to ask you: do you think the individuals were earthly or ET in origin or ET hybrid?
They were not at all. I was probably 20 yards away. And the reason I was 20 yards away was because if something were to go down, you know what I mean? That's a good distance. I know it sounds horrible, but like training kicked in, my hair stood up. They did not look, their facial features, they looked eerily human, if that makes sense, like remotely. and I didn't. Their reactions were not at all like they were just. They didn't get it, and I didn't know what was going on. I never saw anything like that in my life. We were
Let me ask you this.
debriefed.
Oh, you're debriefed shortly after this?
Yeah, we were debriefed, and it was
All
pretty
right, go
much.
ahead with that.
I mean, we got sit down. We got back. We actually went to the chow hall, and we're all kind of sitting around and eating. It was kind of like that, like that quiet storm, like what was going on. And I mean, we've all been through. I've done 3 tours in Iraq, 2 tours in Afghanistan, you name it, and nobody could put a finger on what that was, and the aggression that came from. I think what really upset everybody was the aggression of our supposed, what we thought was our own government, our people. And then it was probably 3:30 in the morning. I mean, we got chow, we lay out, and then somebody just banging on the door, this, that, and the other. We get called down, our commander, and then there's a 4-star general, which was a female, telling us, and then these other guys in the back that were not in military uniform. They were in suits, but they all had glasses. Why are you going to be in a room at 3 in the morning, in a room in general, with sunglasses on? Like they wanted, I guess, hide their identity, whatever it may be. But they all said that what happened tonight didn't happen. And we had to sign paperwork and the whole nine.
So these guys, it almost sounds like straight out of a Hollywood movie in its own way. Have you ever heard of, let's see, the Mysterious Nine? Maybe these are the people that, some people are suggesting that maybe these are some of these, possibly part of the Mysterious Nine. What about this, the thing on their breastplate that was glowing? You said what color?
It was yellow. It just, as I got closer, all of a sudden, I just saw this blinking.
Have you seen anything like this before? What do you think it was, in your opinion? Could it have been some kind of maybe mind control weapon?
No. No. I mean, that's a good assumption. I know that when I talk with Wash, I remember, I hate to get, I'm just trying to really give you the raw, because I know it's what y'all want. And I appreciate what y'all do. I remember that night after that briefing, none of us could really sleep. And for me, I got in the cold shower. And I just wanted to get in the cold shower, and that helps me sleep. And I remember getting in the cold shower and watch my team chief, my spotter. I was a sniper. My spotter comes in there, and he wasn't. He didn't know that it was a weird situation, and he's like, "What the hell, I remember being in the shower and I'm washing up, whatever, and he goes, lays down. I'm like, "What's that?"
Some people are saying that this device could have been some kind of
I think it was something they were locating or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it was something like the second I got within what we call a lethal engagement, which is 20 yards or more, it just blinked. But the problem was, the individuals that were standing there had no reaction, they could care less, if that makes sense. They're just standing there. But these guys, or these individuals, wherever they may be, were just ridiculously ripped. like, I mean, just stupid. Like, I'm a well-built guy. I mean, I'm 238 with 8% body fat. Like, and I would not in a heartbeat approach that. But their faces, like, there was no eyebrows, there was no what I could see anyway. And I'm a trained observer. That's what I do for a living. And there was no hair. There was nothing. And like the bald headedness. Like, you can tell when someone shaves their head. You get what I'm saying? You can see a hair. There was nothing. It was just straight nothing. No eyebrows, no eyelashes. Their eyes were, it was very bright. It was like a blue. I mean, it was like a aqua sea blue. It was weird. Like, the whole situation was weird, and I don't know if maybe like that device or whatever it was made us sick. It made all of us nauseous because we talked about that. Like, as we got closer, I just felt, for lack of a better word, like either I was going to lose my bowels or I was going to vomit. And then within seconds, the Humvees were on us. And that van rolled up. No one got out of the Humvees. 2 individuals got out of the van. And they had a presence of, to, lack of a better word, turn around or you're not going home. Does that make sense?
It does. And then you basically confronted them because you're no pushover yourself, but then their kind of reaction, and it sounds like, kind of set you back a little bit. Like, man, who are these guys?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
I was blown away.
Yeah, you
I
were
was like, whoa.
prepared for this.
Like, whoa,
this is
man.
not a typical train. This isn't typical. And at that point, you're just kind of like, ooh, what? Now what? Because
exactly,
you're a guy
like,
that
my mind was
control.
blown.
You're a guy that's in control, and then now you're kind of, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, no, yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm in control of my team. But at the end of the day, I mean, I got to provide for their lives. You know what I mean? We're all going home one way or the other, but I felt like in that situation, we're training. We're not overseas. We just got back from a deployment. So nobody was looking to hurt anybody. But the way this guy approached us, I didn't know if this was part of it. Maybe this was part of our training. I didn't know what to think. But what I did know was survival. It was like, you know what? I got you, brother. We're good. But he was very aggressive, like very aggressive. And I'm talking loaded aggressive. Gun in hand, he's like, go away. I showed him. He wanted them. He knew some things that was weird, so I figured that maybe our instructors were messing with us. But he said, you're in a bad place right now. And he told me, I'll never forget it. He said, you're in a bad place right now, but I can make this place all go away. Every one of you, I can make it go away. Whatever happened here didn't happen. You need to fucking go south because we were going north. And he looked at me and he said, "Hua." And I don't know if you're familiar with Army lingo, but Hua means check. Like, all right, gotcha. And I looked at him and I said, "Hua," and I backed off.
Yeah, take some steps
debriefing
back
and all that crazy. No, I was like, brother, I'm good, man. You know what I mean?
So
I ain't trying to do this right now.
He's like, Hua. And that's kind of a military term.
It is. That is
branch
a military term.
And it's a branch of the Marines mostly than anywhere else. Am I mistaken?
Well, hoorah is the Marines. Army's Hua. And he looked at me and he said, "Hua?" And who means, like, if you're, let's say, like, I'm your sergeant and I tell you to do something, I'm like, go over there and do that. Who? And you're like, who? All right. And he just looked at me and said, who? But his demeanor,
what do you think you
I'm sorry.
walked? No problem. What do you think you walked in on? What you said you basically walked into something that you weren't supposed to be there. Any gut feelings of what you basically came across? What was the whole? Yeah.
I'm trying to protect my clearance and a lot of things. And I love you guys. I mean, it's taken me 3 years just to call this. There's other things. I mean, but there were some events in Afghanistan. We've had guys on Overwatch. The actual, I've seen it on flare. You can't see it visually. This individual says we have contact, and I'm like, what are you talking about? We go over there and he shows me the flare recording, and it's a disc, but it's not a disc. It's like it's a disc with a dome, and we're capturing it on a flare, and everybody's, high alert. What are we gonna do here? Do we engage? And it does nothing. It's just watching us. Stuff like that. And that was before this happened. But I've heard of things, with the Black Ops, whatever, cattle mutilation, all that stuff, where it's kind of a misdirection. They create something to hide something, all that stuff. But what I walked into, I mean, I don't know. And for us to get a debriefing after that is unheard of. And it was serious. No one's going to come banging on your door at 3 in the morning. Your commanders, your command sergeant major, your commander, your captain, all of that. And make you sign paperwork.
Yeah, basically, HUA stands for, let's see, it stands for understood,
it was like, I understand.
Acknowledged.
Yeah, it was like, cool, gotcha.
Yeah. See ya. Take care of yourself, and we'll stay out of your hair. Nice meeting you. We're leaving now.
Exactly.
So the debriefing afterwards, you have these guys come in 3:30 in the morning. They're wearing these black glasses. It doesn't make any sense.
There was 3 individuals in the back.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense. And they were the ones after the debrief. So we're standing there at 3 in the morning in Incirlik, Turkey. That's where we were stationed. We were kind of if anything went down, we were the guys that went in and handled business at a certain level. So we get this bang. So we're kind of what we call a hooch. I don't know if you've ever been to Tent City. Are you familiar with Tent City? Tent City is like a staging ground.
No.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a staging ground. We're in this little thing, and we're just banging on the door, 3 in the morning. And they said, they walk in, and they said, they were MPs. And they said, you come with us. So I hop up, and we go to HQ, and our commander and all that stuff, and we're sitting there, and we sit down, they give us debriefing, and they said, we understand that you had an incident, and this was months ago. This was like 2 months ago. And then there's these guys in the back, just chilling. And there's paperwork. And they tell us that you need to give them the information, tell them what you saw, this, that, and the other. And what's ever spoken about here stays here. And our commander said, as kind of a joking term, He said, whatever happens on deployment stays on deployment, and y'all know that. He said, look to your left and right. These individuals sitting to your left and right might not be here come tomorrow, and you know that.
Yep.
So,
what'd you see? What'd you see? What are they hiding? In
I
your
don't know
opinion?
what they're hiding.
What'd you see?
I know what I saw. I think
Yeah.
I've heard of rumors, and there are rumors. We're cloning this, we're doing that. I think what's going on, if you want my personal opinion, is that they're trying to make the super soldier. I shouldn't even be telling you this. There's been some things on YouTube that some people of mine have said, hey, you should check this out. They've come out, Japan actually figured it out, I guess you could say. Something called the Predator device. Now, bear with me. So what this does is it bends light. So if you have an operator in an environment, and we've all watched Predator, it's a perfect camouflage. Now, on top of that, they've actually, and this is, you can look it up, they have what I saw and what I got to put on the arm piece. But when I was in, it wasn't in development. I'm 37. But when I was in, it wasn't in development because the battery pack was too big. It's called the Chameleon, and it works with nanomites. So technically, this arm piece, when I used it, I could put it against a wall. Whatever I was standing next to, these nanomites would change their color, all of that. So you technically you become a piece of the wall. It emulates what's behind you. If that makes sense. And
it's kind of like a video device that kind of mimics what's behind you and then projects on the skin in front of you, so you mold right in. Yeah, it's very effective. It's almost like you're invisible. Sure.
The problem at the time was the energy source, or the battery, whatever they got on it, was too big, and the government wouldn't put it into the field yet because it's too much weight. So what I was told, though, now, this is happening now, these little micro machines, nanomites, you can inject that into the body. And they're actually using that in nursing applications or medical applications where they can do surgeries or get rid of clots and this, that, and the other. They found a way where these things, if you take a round, let's say you get shot in the chest, they can, within seconds, pretty much heal the wound, bring you back to life. And I know this is happening. So you have essentially these soldiers out there, and I think this is part of that, what we spoke about earlier, and it goes along with the Black Ops scenarios, Section 8, as it's called, and a lot of these guys are ex-Delta, and there's my buddy that I spoke of earlier, he became a part of that, and what they asked for, you had to put in a packet. So your packet, you get reviewed, and you go through all these channels of meetings and review and you name it. You can't be married. I mean, you can, but generally, to be a top applicant, you can't be married. You can't have anyone family related, close to you. You're pretty much erased. And what they're doing is they're taking these guys and they're doing this stuff on them. They're pumping them full of this stuff, and they send them out.
This conversation has been incredible. There's been a lot of information coming in. Can I just One last. I just want to get your rank or MOS. Can you give us something? We're not going to get your name, but at least give us your rank of some sort. Can you?
I'm an E7. I'm a sniper.
You're a what?
E7.
E7. Oh, okay. Well, okay, we got you, man. I just want to thank you for your service. I know you've been, you've been in a lot of situations, life and death situations. You're protecting our country, and you know what, man? Thank you so much. And I know it was tough for you to call in tonight, but you shared a lot of stuff.
Man, I've been fucking kicking around for 3 years. I don't mean to take up your time, so I know you got more important calls than this. But I do want to tell you, you should look into the Set 9, and you should look into nanomite technology. And as far as the individuals that I walked into, I couldn't tell you, man. I really couldn't.
That's quite incredible. And, it's not that we got more important callers. The show's basically finished, and we'll be doing another show this Monday. It's okay. We're going to be doing another show this Monday, so stay tuned, everybody, for that. And, again, hey, thanks a lot. We're going to be sharing your story to the world, and we'll find out a little bit more from the people from around the world of what they thought of your story. I'm sure a lot of people have had the same experience at other military bases with these kind of dark black op government agencies telling you to be quiet or, back up, get out, right? So, appreciate it, sir. And again, thank you for serving our country.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I love you guys, all right? And y'all stay safe and keep doing what you're doing, man.
Oh, we will, and we'll be. We're not going to stop. We're not going to stop until we get to the bottom of what this UFO alien phenomenon is all about. We're going to keep it open, and we're going to keep broadcasting every Friday and Monday, and we're going to be uploading episodes in regards to people's videos that they submit, news stories that are coming up, breaking news around the world. We're going to put it out there. Thanks, everybody, for joining me tonight. If you didn't get in tonight, don't worry. Just call in on Monday. We'll get to as many people as we can. Stay safe, everybody, this weekend, and we'll see you again next time. Keep your eyes on the skies and have that steady hand.